Now let's turn our attention to the north, to a player with high stakes in the region and in the Israel-Hamas war. We're talking about Turkey and their president Recep Tayyip Erdogan. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. Let me explain why I say this. Erdogan thinks of himself as a great statesman. He wants the world to believe that he is a great leader. His country is also a NATO member, and they're expected to help Western allies and support Israel. At the same time, Erdogan also wants to position himself as a champion of Muslims, the new age caliph, reviving the Ottoman glory, which is why he keeps talking about Kashmir and wading into issues that he has no business talking about. Now, in this role, he is expected to support the Palestinians. And these two images, statesman and religious champion, have collided. Add to this Erdogan's personal ambition. He wants to be a peace broker, but you can't do all the three. Support Israel, support Hamas, and mediate between the two. So he's walking a tightrope, trying to appease both factions. Erdogan has taken the least controversial stance since this war began. Listen to what he said.
We want the Israeli administration to stop their bombardment of Palestine soil, beginning with Gaza, and the Palestinians to stop their harassment of civilian settlements in Israel.
So he's blamed both sides for the conflict and asked both of them to stop. This is a far cry from his position a few years ago. In the past, Erdogan has openly favored Palestinians, but over time, his relations with Israel have also improved. And evidently, he does not want to jeopardize that, the relationship with Israel. So he's taken a balanced approach. His administration is also trying to be useful to its Western allies.
We have received requests from various countries, especially on the issue of their citizens being released. As a result of this, we have launched talks on these issues, especially with Hamas's political wing. Our efforts are continuing, especially for the release of foreigners, civilians and children.
That was the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan. He's been on a diplomatic shuttle since the Israel-Hamas war began, going from one country to the next, securing Turkiye's interests. And he just mentioned a very important part of those interests, contacts with Hamas's political wing. You see, Turkey has always favored this group, Hamas. Senior Hamas members have made a home in Turkey, like the chairperson of the Hamas political wing, Ismail Haniyeh. His children reportedly have Turkish passports, as do other senior members of Hamas. Haniyeh divides his time between Turkey and Qatar. He has a base in both these countries. Currently, he's in Qatar. Reports say the Turkish establishment asked him to leave for a while. Other senior Hamas leaders were also politely asked to leave. Erdogan apparently did not want the bad publicity. Their presence was problematic for the would-be mediator. Now, Turkey has denied all these reports, but perhaps the damage has already been done. So far, 4 hostages have been released by Hamas. And it seems Qatar and Egypt are at the forefront of those talks. Turkey is lagging behind in its efforts. And that's not the only bad news for Erdogan. Reports say Ankara is also facing the heat from Western allies. They want Turkey to sever ties with Hamas. And that's something Erdogan is unlikely to do. So instead, he's looking to placate the West. He's making concessions elsewhere. Yesterday, Turkey offered its fellow NATO members an olive branch. Erdogan set in motion the process to induct Sweden to make it a NATO member.
Yeah, we welcome that step. Obviously, we have been calling for ratification of Sweden's accession for some time, and we look forward to that bill being considered in the Turkish parliament and passed as soon as possible.
Sweden has been wanting to join NATO since last year, but Erdogan was the roadblock. It seems he's finally relented in an effort to calm his Western allies. As I said, Ankara has been walking a tightrope. It's what you get when you try to run with the hares and hunt with the hounds.